back to Prime News on HLN, continuing our conversation. We just heard from the mom of Amber White, little 12-year-old. She went missing this past Sunday, told her parents she's heading to the neighborhood swimming pool, hasn't been seen since. Now, there have been 2 arrests made. A 19-year-old Brandon Player, he's charged with contributing to the delinquency of a minor. 25-year-old Henry Lee arrested as well. He's charged with aggravated kidnapping of a child. Sergeant Bill Gooden is with us, Shreveport Police Department. Bill, what can you tell us about these 2? What led you to Brandon Player and Henry Lee?
Well, actually, you know, and we can't harp on this enough. It was a single Crime Stoppers tip that led us ultimately to these suspects. And the day after that Amber was reported missing to us, we received a call the next morning that we had 2 witnesses who had seen her get into an Oldsmobile Cutlass, and they were able to give us a plate number. And based on that, our detectives were able to take that information and ultimately lead us to Brandon Player, who we subsequently arrested. And through interviews and other information gathered, that ultimately led us to Henry Lee.
So you have no doubt these 2 are involved here. What do you think happened? And is Amber okay as we speak?
Well, and certainly that's our hope. And I can tell you that our investigators and the whole police department, for that matter, we've got juvenile detectives. We have 2 shifts of crimes against persons detectives. We have agents with our Office of Special Investigations. We have 3 shifts of patrol officers, our chief of police. There's a sense of urgency here that we need to get Amber back to her family safely. We don't believe that an abduction occurred, but I want to be clear that our investigators are not ruling anything out at this point. And as they move forward in their investigation, they're going to go where that information takes them. And again, we're going to utilize all of our resources to locate this little girl and get her back to her family.
Michelle Sagona is with us, investigative journalist. You can always check out more on stories like this at our website, michellesagona.com. Michelle, what do we know about Player and Henry Lee?
Well, Sergeant Gooden and I spoke about this earlier. They do have a past criminal history charges. Henry Lee was arrested in May 2006 for domestic abuse of battery, and also February 2009 for possession of a narcotic. Brandon Player was arrested in April 2010, just recently, Mike, for second offense possession for marijuana. He is actually out on bond right now, but Henry Lee is still in custody at this particular point. So we really need those tips to continue coming in. Again, just like Sergeant Gooden said, Crime Stoppers is amazing. Pick up the phone, give them a call if you've seen anything or if you have any kind of information. Also, what we've learned is that Amber may have changed her clothes from investigators. She could possibly be wearing a black tank top now with plaid pajama bottoms. So that's something else to keep in mind.
Okay, we had the number up there for you. Sergeant, what did these guys tell? What did Player and Lee tell you? Have they been forthcoming with information?
We have received information from them, and of course, our detectives are very careful about what they want to put out. In other words, we don't want to say anything that could compromise or otherwise impede our investigation, but I can tell you that they have received information, and we are moving forward. And again, we're doing so with a sense of urgency. We want this little girl back to her family. We're trying to keep the family engaged in this process as well, and I know that our chief has been adamant that we give information to them and keep them up to date on where we're at in the investigation. There's a lot of questions that are yet to be answered, and our detectives are out there on the streets right now knocking on doors and trying to get those things answered.
Sergeant and Michelle, thank you both so much. Coming up, the inspiring story.